sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day. They're the eyes of a man who's lost.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Horny Creek. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is February 16th, 2002,
It is.
followed by 3 zeros.
That is how you write 2000. Very good.
Yep. I figured it out.
You get a cookie.
What kind of cookie?
Chocolate chip.
Okay. That's like my second favorite cookie.
Only your second favorite?
Ginger snaps.
Ginger snaps?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Why do I not know this about you?
Is my favorite cookie.
I feel like that's a thing that I should know. Ginger snaps. It's such a bizarre one.
Okay. I like ginger snaps. Sorry.
I have to learn how to make ginger snaps, everyone.
Oh, it's pretty easy.
Is it?
I assume. I don't know. I've never made them. But we're not talking about ginger snaps. We're talking about To Green with Love.
On Horny Creek.
I wonder if they thought about getting Lulu to do a cover of. She's the one that sang that song. Do a cover of her song. To Sir with Love. That's what it's referencing, obviously. The movie, not the song, but, you know. To Sir with Love.
I don't know that song.
Really?
Really?
Oh, it's a song by Lulu. It's a 60s song. Do you know the movie?
No.
Okay. It's about I think it's... I could be completely wrong. I'm totally speculating. But I'm pretty sure it's about, like, a teacher at, like, fights for his students or something like that. And, you know, like, faces adversity.
Okay.
I feel like that's what the movie's about.
You feel it in your bones.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've never seen the movie, obviously. But I've vaguely heard of the movie. And you know how you can hear of a movie that you've never seen of, and you kind of hear people vaguely talk about it, and you get this vague impression of what the movie's about, and you might be right or you could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
That's like Goodbye, Mr. Chips. I'm pretty sure I've never seen that either, but I'm pretty sure that's also about a teacher. So I'm not sure. Maybe a teacher that gets a terminal disease or something like that. I don't know. So
this episode of Horny Creek was not horny.
Not horny, and not a good episode either.
No, it was... I didn't like it. As soon as it was over, I was like, well, I hate this episode. Like,
Yeah.
it was no good.
Yeah, it sucks. No offense to the writers of Horny Creek, Dawson's Creek. We're the writers of Horny Creek. But it sucks.
I mean, the whole thing basically had one storyline, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like there was a bunch of other fun things going on to distract us from the fairly boring story that they were doing.
It's a fairly boring story with a horrible payoff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's supposed to, like, highlight, like, hey, you can't win them all or whatever. Like, I mean, I get the reality of it. There's also a racial, undertone to it that doesn't 100% fit. Like, I get it, what they're talking about, kind of, but it's also, like, I don't know. It's never, I guess racism is a lot of times not overt and stuff like that, but it's, for a TV show, it's super subtle.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was very subtle. I mean, somebody even flat out said in the episode.
No, not the issue of racism. I mean, like the parents being racist. Like, I didn't get that 100%.
Oh, okay.
They're being classist for sure.
Yeah.
But I didn't get 100% racism from it either, from any of the sides, the dad, the superintendents, or the other parents. But they're saying that that's one of the reasons. But like I said, if it is, it's very under the radar kind of thing.
I honestly, I don't know that it was, because I can imagine... Well, first of all, let's back up and tell people what the hell we're talking about.
Boop, boop.
So, Principal Green is now in trouble for expelling Matt. Last episode.
Previously,
we
last episode of Soap.
We mentioned, you silly boy, that Matt's dad, like, he said, oh, you don't know what my dad will do. And we're like, oh, he must not have done shit because he got expelled. Haha.
Right,
apparently we're wrong, because his dad did do shit. And now the superintendent is saying undo the expulsion or tender your resignation.
We start at a PTA meeting that everyone's in attendance at.
It's how all great high school teen dramas start at a fucking PTA meeting.
And that Brian De Palma is filming, I guess, or something. There's all these like extreme close-ups and like, you know, shadow and shit like that. It's like it's all very Brian De Palma style filmmaking. And you know, he did Carrie.
Okay.
You know, with like her like, and I've noticed in a lot of movies he's a real big fan of like the sweaty close-up.
Ew. Sweaty close-up.
Well, like in action movies and stuff like that, he does the like the very the intensity, you know.
Sure.
But anyway, so they're all there, and yeah, the superintendent's the dad's like, this fucking guy expelled my son. You know, he's a monster and everything, and we need to. This can't stand. My son's rich, and Joey stands up, and at first she gets taken out of context later, and at first I took her out of context because she stands up and she's like, this whole thing is being blown out of proportion. And I thought she was going to be like, he doesn't need to get expelled. It was my artwork that was destroyed. It sucks. He's an asshole, but he doesn't need to get expelled for it, is where I thought she was going. But what she's saying is, this guy is a loser. No one wants him here. Why are we making a big deal about his expulsion? Get him out. Like, so that's her point. And the superintendent's not super happy with her saying that.
Right.
So we go from that to there's reporters in the PTA too. It's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small town. I guess their PTA meeting's big news.
One of Gail's interns that she hired many years ago is now doing field reporting.
And, like, Gail's all jealous, and the lady's all snarky to her and stuff, and I don't really get, like, Gail's getting older. She's chosen to do other things.
She owns a restaurant now.
Right, so,
that
like...
we see for 14 seconds.
Yeah, like, she obviously hasn't opened yet, because nothing's... I feel like there'll be a grand opening or something.
They're wrapping silverware.
Yeah. I don't know. But I just don't think it's earned that she's, like, all depressed about not doing this anymore. It's like...
Yeah, like, everything with her storyline has moved on super fast off camera. Because it's like, she got kicked out of Philadelphia.
Oh,
she
yeah,
got
that
this,
is true.
She got this big promotion to Philadelphia. And then, like, I guess a wrinkle appeared on her forehead, and they were like, you're gone? Like, I don't know what the fuck happened. She got this big promotion to Philadelphia, and in less than a year, she gets drummed out because she's too old. Did they not know her age when they hired her? Did she give them a headshot that was 20 years, you know, older? What the fuck? So she comes back, and she can't find anything in Cape Side because she's so old. Like, suddenly they want to do this storyline where she's old, I guess. She's not that old. I mean, she's not that old looking, really.
No, she's still pretty.
But anyway, so then Mitch has this idea about the restaurant. Hey, there's a restaurant for lease or whatever, a building for lease, the restaurant. It was your dream. I thought, like, we briefly...
Which came out of nowhere, by the way.
Briefly. Remember when Tamara came back in town?
Yeah.
And she was trying to sell that piece of property? I don't know if it's the same property or not.
The dad was looking at it then.
Yes, for a restaurant, because he was talking about it. So it's like they shifted that over to her, I think, because they were like, well, he's got the football team now, and, like, that's his dream, really, is teaching and being a football.
Well, you know, the one restaurant in Cape Side closed, so they have to open a new one.
That's true. The Ice House.
Right.
So, anyway, now it's her dream all of a sudden. But the reporter, they watch the news, and the reporter completely takes Joey out of context, where they show the
Bitch
thing.
move.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's not journalism at all.
No, I mean, is that even, like, legal? I mean, to misquote somebody in that way?
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't know all the journalistic laws or whatever. It's certainly not ethical.
For sure.
What she did. But it makes it seem like not all the students are on board with the principal.
Yeah.
And Gail is like, fuck, man, this sucks. And Dawson's like, we should do something or whatever. And she's like, I'd love to do a report on this or whatever, but I would need a crew. And he's like, hey, in today's digital photography age, a crew is just me with a camera.
Right.
And so they decide to do the story. So they go around trying to... it is one storyline, but I guess there's different aspects to it because there's Dawson and Gail are trying to get the real story. Joey has decided to step up and be a leader because Discount Dawson's there and is telling her you should be a leader.
I don't like him at all.
No, he's weird. Like,
there's nothing good about him.
He's, no offense to the actor either, but he's not charming.
No.
Like, Dawson is not, if I were a woman, Dawson is not my type as far as a guy goes. I don't think he's super handsome or anything like that. He's no Joshua Jackson. But James Vanderbeek is charming.
Sure.
He has charisma on camera. He's good at that.
Right.
And this guy doesn't.
Yeah, I agree. He just comes off as dopey. And I mean,
Yeah,
this
really
isn't
does.
the actor's fault, but the way they write him, he's basically just saying everything Pacey says 5 minutes later, but getting credit for it.
Yeah.
Which isn't even the character's fault, because it's just because Joey's got her, like, little doe eyes, whatever, going on.
Yeah, because now we have a love triangle, but now it's Discount Dawson, Pacey, and Joey. And she's talking about Pacey at one point, and he's like, oh, who the fuck's named Pacey?
He does. He's like, what kind of name is Pacey?
And then when he meets him, he's like, oh, the guy with the weird name. It's
Yeah.
like, what an asshole thing to say to someone's face.
Yeah, not cool. Not cool. And that's literally, like, that's all. So, like, I don't think they're trying to make us like him. I feel like he's going to leave, too. Because,
I don't know.
I mean, we've got the principal's daughter's leaving.
Yeah, like, I mean, we get to that at the end. I mean, I guess we can just go all around.
Whatever.
But, like, the least successful, like, least effort you could put into trying to establish a new character, like, she was given no chance at all. It's like they said to themselves, oh, we should have a new character. We should have a new girl for Dawson. And it's almost like they screen tested her. Let's do 2 scenes with her and Dawson and see how it goes. And I thought they had pretty good chemistry.
Yeah, I agree.
And they were like, they saw those 2 scenes and they were like, fuck her. And they just got rid of her. Because
Yeah.
I assume, because at the end, I mean, spoilers, but at the end, it doesn't work. Like, nothing they do to try to stop this works. And the principal just resigns.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, he's forced into resignation and he leaves. So I'm assuming his daughter's leaving with him. I assume this is it for him.
Yeah, I assume so, too. They do a little clap as he walks out and shit. I mean,
Yeah.
like, they clap him out, but
Yeah.
that's going to be it.
So, yeah, I just ridiculous to me. And what's going to happen? Are they going to get a new principal? Is the principal going to reinstate this kid anyway?
Probably. That's what I imagine. And what I was going to say before, though, it's like, I think even if the principal was white, that this rich motherfucker would still
100%.
make the same stink. So
Yes.
why are we saying it's because the principal's black?
Is it to give Bodhi something to do, I guess? I don't know. He hasn't been on the show in forever, and suddenly now he's there. But because Bodhi's black, and at one point, see, Joey is trying to, like, rally the students and stuff like that, and she's working out of her house, because why wouldn't you? But it's also their bed and breakfast. Mm-hmm. And what's her name?
Bessie.
Bessie gets a call that says, hey, if you were trying to make money at your bed and breakfast, I wouldn't be housing this fucking revolutionary or whatever. Like she's got Che Guevara on her hands. And so Bessie's trying to, like, put a stop to her or whatever and say, hey, don't do this. This is a very like mild storyline that doesn't really go anywhere.
No.
But she's like, "Oh, you shouldn't do this or whatever," like because they control the mortgage on our house, like as if they could just take it away if you are making payments.
So is this like It's a Wonderful Life? Like the asshole owns the bank, the bank.
I guess I mean it's Mr. Potter,
right?
But anyway, so she says like, "Hey, this is like if Principal Green looked different or whatever." Like Joey's kind of vaguely talks about it, and then Bodhi just comes right out and says to Bessie, she's saying that if he wasn't black, that people wouldn't be pissed off about this. That they'd be mad and like they would try to get the guy reinstated, but they wouldn't ask for his resignation, and they wouldn't be calling and harassing you, and they wouldn't be acting so angry if he was white, is what Bodhi says, like straight out. That's paraphrasing, but it's pretty close to what he says. And it's like, I kind of agree with you. I don't know if that's true.
No. I mean, it's not. I mean, I was going to say it's not like racism has been a big problem, but that's because there's no black people in the whole town. So it's hard to have a race problem when there's only one race around.
But I think, in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. We're not black, so we're not kind of qualified to talk about this in a lot of ways. But in my opinion, in this particular situation, it's more about the haves and have-nots.
Yeah.
It's more about the rich versus the middle class or poor or whatever. And that's what it seems more like to me.
Yeah.
Because they even talk about Joey, and they're like, "Oh, your family." At the PTA meeting, the one guy's like, the asshole rich kid's like, or the dad, I think.
It was the dad.
Is like, your family's not, in the community or what, like basically like denigrating her family because they're not rich, prominent members of the community. And then Dawson stands up and is like, "You don't know anything about our family, asshole."
Which, like, her dad's in prison, so if we really want to...
Yeah, I mean, they could have pushed those buttons for sure. Her mom's dead and her dad's in prison for selling drugs. Like, her family is not, like, a prominent rich family. It's true. But that's also shouldn't matter. But I think that's more of what it's about. And what's weird is the episode never really picks a lane.
Yeah.
They never really go solidly down the one area or the other. It's racism. Maybe that's what Sir Wood loves about is racism.
Maybe.
Because it's Sidney Poitier, I think. But it never goes down the road of like, it's racism, it's classism. It kind of rides both lines.
Sure.
And because of that, it's not super effective.
Yeah, and like I said, unfortunately, the way they do it is just kind of boring. There's a lot of politicking. There's a lot of... There's a protest, but it's, a peaceful march around, picketing in front of the school administrator.
The administration building or whatever. Yeah. The school board building.
Yeah.
Where the superintendent is.
Superintendent. And, I mean, Joey gets snarky with him when he wants to talk to her, and he's like... you better get to class before you get in trouble for cutting. And she's like, "Who's cutting? I'm out sick with a cold."
Right.
That wouldn't work either. I mean, he could get her in trouble if he wanted to.
Sure, I guess. Like, the point is that they're trying to suppress the revolution or whatever, and she's not having it.
But it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, the other thing, too, this is a continuity issue. The other thing that I noticed that I thought was kind of dumb, at the end of the last episode, Pacey is painting over the graffiti so that she can restart her mural, right? Mm-hmm. We get the asshole whatever reporter, the anti-Gale, is puts it up on her story or whatever. It as the graffiti. They show the graffiti. Did they have that before? Was someone filming this fucking school presentation? Because that doesn't make sense. And if they weren't filming the school presentation when she was talking about it, when it was revealed to be graffitied, then how did they get that when they painted over it last episode?
Yeah, that's a good
question. It
question.
doesn't make any sense.
Good question, Mark.
But yeah, Gail talks to the superintendent, and her big gotcha moment is that she's like, "Hey, so don't you think that this is pretty fucked, what you're doing?" And he's like, "Hey, I have a responsibility to the community." And she's like, "Oh, that's your responsibility to the community, right?" He's like, yeah, that's right. And she shows him his contract, and she's like, hey, what's it say about the community in here? And it's nothing. His responsibilities to the students or whatever. And she's like, interesting. And it's funny, too, because, like, the deadline's Friday, right?
Uh-huh.
So she says to Dawson, she's like, hey, they're going to air it Saturday nights. It's, like, too late.
Yeah.
But they are going to air her report. Just too late.
I don't think that her big gotcha moment was effectual in any way.
No.
Either. Like...
Because who in a reasonable mind would not be like, well, he does have like, the community's part of, like,
right.
School's part of the community. You know, like...
Yeah.
I don't think it's a stretch for him to say, hey, the community's part of it, too.
Yeah. It was a dumb interaction. The whole episode was just pretty useless.
Well, yeah, like their protest. And that's, like I said, to me, they didn't have... I think the big failing of this episode is they didn't have a big statement that they wanted to make. They didn't have... I think they really just wanted to get rid of these characters. Because they didn't have a big thing they wanted to say, whether it was against racism, whether it was against classism, or whatever. They don't make a big stand of, like... And we never know exactly what Joey's point is in her revolution. Because they don't make a big stand. All they
her
say,
point is, I hate Matt.
Yeah, her point is this: our principal's cool. We like him, and you should keep him. Not his actions are right, or like just like anything. Just like, hey, he knows what's best. We put our trust in him. We like him. Most of the students like him. Most of the students don't like Matt. And it's like, sure, but it doesn't take a big stand of like, we're standing up for justice. This is injustice. It feels like injustice that doesn't go like rewarded in any way, but like there's, like I said, there's no big statement, so it all feels very hollow.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, so then he ends up leaving, and I guess that's it.
Well, there's one more thing that does happen in the episode.
Oh, Jen shows up for her one contractually obligated scene and says, hey, you should try to get with Joey or whatever, because I can tell that you like Joey. Keep trying, because even the ducky from Pretty in Pink gets his day. Just ask Henry, and it's like, oh, okay, you're just letting us know. Henry's not in the episode, you're just letting us know he's still in the picture.
Hey, they're saving that budget for something.
I guess.
But yeah, so then what Pacey does is rents a wall for Joey to paint on to put her mural out in the community, I guess, instead of in the school. But like, and it's a huge wall. It's a much bigger space. And he gives her one paint can and a paintbrush.
Yeah. And she paints Matt being decapitated.
And he's like, I rented that for $100. Like, dude, if he gives me a gift, don't tell him how much it costs.
Right.
It's rude.
And how do you rent a wall? Like, after she paints it and everything, are they just going to paint over it?
Right? Like, it's only for a month.
I don't know what that means. Like, take a picture of it, and then, like, that's what you get?
I guess.
Because afterwards, we're going to destroy what you painted? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
No. I mean, it was nice of him, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that him being Ducky? I don't. I guess.
I don't remember if Ducky buys Molly Ringwald a wall.
I
at the
don't
end.
think he does. I do not think that happened.
She takes her to the prom, and then she goes off with the other guy. Isn't she pretty in pink? Know that song?
I do.
It's another song from a movie, just like To Sir with Love. So we bookended it.
There we go.
Successful show, everyone. We started with a movie and song tie-in and ended with a movie and song tie-in.
That's always our goal, right?
Bad episode.
Very bad.
Of Dawson's Creek. Great episode of our show. I didn't like it, and I hope they get to a better episode next time.
They better.
And you know, you're getting rid of Miss Green or whatever her name was. I don't even remember what her name was now. The principal's daughter. Mm-hmm. You can get rid of... You can get rid of Discount Dawson, too, please.
For sure, please.
Throw him to the made-for, or straight-to-video movie bin, please. But anyway, that's our episode for the week. Carol, tell people where they can find their own racist dad.
You can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com. Mm-hmm. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And share the tapes with your friends.
All right, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.